Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know this, but we don't have an intro song, so we do this instead.
Also, I'm really upset someone still hasn't sent us.
Not one person has been like,
Not
hey,
one person.
let me help you out and give you an intro music song.
They'd rather hear us sing.
I do know this because I'm a listener.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we didn't finish it though. Ready? Okay, go back.
What?
We have to finish the intro.
Oh, welcome to
Yeah,
the beauty
and
the
breakdown. Wow.
Ow! All right. Welcome. Woo! Hit me again.
Run it back.
Oh, welcome to Beauty and the Breakdown podcast. I always have Heidi Fell with me.
Woo!
And we have a very special guest in-house, Dyke Michael.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, that's you. He is the runner of Harder Brunch podcast, which Heidi and I had the pleasure of being on, and he brought us some candles with Thad, his co-host, face on it. So I can't wait to burn that.
Yeah, it's going to be on your dresser staring you in the face at night when you're going to sleep. Hell yeah, brother.
The artist drew him very slender, too. And so I was giving that candle out, and people thought it was me, and they were like, this guy has a lot of hair and is really thin. And I'm like, that's not even me.
It's neither of us.
I feel like it's not me. It's also not that.
It's actually neither one of us.
I don't know who it is.
We don't know who this guy is.
It is some random chef. So that's really nice. But we love being on your podcast and happy to have you here with ours as well.
Thank you. I feel at home because this is the room where I did my very first podcast. And Wyatt, when I knew Wyatt when he was just a wee boy.
He's still a wee boy.
He's a grown man on crutches now.
Yeah, on polio crutches with a torn labia.
This was way back.
He tore his labia.
I did tear my labia.
And they gave him polio crutches for it.
I think the problem that the fact that they're red, I think is the problem. If they weren't red, I think I'd be fine.
No, they're definitely. I really feel like those are like the crutches that they have. I swear.
Well, they're his family crutches. All of his siblings have all used those crutches.
They have them in like. Do you know those boxes where like if something catches on fire, like you have to break the box and pull them out? Yeah. I feel like that's what they have it in their house. They have them like hung up on the wall.
The emergency crutches. Break this in case of a labia tear.
Yeah, exactly. You're like they've been passed down from generations since your great grandma had polio.
That is insane to me because Wyatt to me is already such a baby, so it's crazy to me to think it.
No, he was like
17.
He was a child. He was. he would go to.
There were labor laws against this.
He started this in high school,
which is insane to think about.
He would have two, I mean, I would just call them derelicts that were working here. Like these guys, schmucks. They were like street people. They were like,
he literally pulled them straight out from
found them on the street.
They were like grifters. Like one time we came in here for a show, I had a guest and there was just cocaine on the table.
Oh no.
So it was like,
and Wyatt probably didn't even know what cocaine was at that time. He's like, I don't know. They keep snorting this powdered sugar. It's weird.
Oh my goodness. Poor Wyatt being exposed to that elements at such a young age.
That's awesome though. Yeah. So with you having your Harder Brunch podcast, I want to first off ask you, are you still a chef right now? Because Harder Brunch is a chef podcast at its core. Sure. And then it's obviously very funny. And you and Thad do a great job.
Yeah, you
with
guys
it.
really do have an amazing podcast.
And the food is always fucking incredible. Every time I go on that podcast, I am so full afterwards with.
Heidi broke a chair. Remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, I felt
Heidi ate so much she broke a chair.
Okay, first off, you guys are lucky it was me and no one else because my 110-pound body, that hurt my ass so bad. That was all it took for me to fall straight through that thing.
And good thing it wasn't like a bigger person because they would have been really embarrassed. But you're like, no, this is definitely the chair's fault.
I did nothing wrong
This is a faulty chair.
I conquered the chair, bro.
That sat in it right before you did. It was fine.
Yeah.
That loosened it up for me.
Am I so that's a great that's a great question. So I went to culinary school. I mean, I graduated. I didn't just go like half the time. But I went to culinary school. I thought I was going to be a restaurateur like before comedy. Like that's what I was going to do. I was like going to be a professional chef the rest of my life.
Okay.
And then
when you said restaurant tour, I was
Yeah.
thinking like a tour guide of restaurants.
I was thinking
No,
like a
like,
Guy Ferrari. Yeah.
Diners, drive-ins, and
With Dyke Michaels.
We're here to eat the world's largest tenderloin. No, like I thought I was gonna like open restaurants and be like some sort of fancy chef, and things didn't go that way. So, chef is a real weird term because you can be like a good home cook, right? You can be like you don't have to go to school to learn. It's not like being a doctor.
All of the shows on Netflix will definitely tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, technically I'm a chef, but I'm not a working chef.
Okay.
I work, I'm a pit master, a part-time pit master at a barbecue place. And
Pitmaster.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that sounds really
I
fancy.
thought you meant you were changing tires.
no.
He
at
works
a-
for NASCAR.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the Indy 500 team.
He's changing tires out in 20 seconds.
While cooking them steaks.
He throws a steak in the window, rips the tire off.
And then I work at a wedding venue as a bartender on the weekends.
Okay.
And then
that's decent.
comedy's the third job.
Yeah.
Like, you get a little bit of money here and there.
Yeah. It's
not-
sometimes odd to call comedy a job because it doesn't feel like it, but sometimes it does bring in a source of income that you're like, well, that counts.
I paid my rent last month or a month ago with all extracurricular money. Like it was like comedy, and then I did a cooking class at that school. And between
nice.
those two things, I paid rent with that, and I was like, okay, if this happens more often, this is pretty
Right?
cool.
Right? To pay your bills with your dreams.
Yeah. But right now,
Not with your tears.
Yeah,
right
literally.
now it's just all money still going out. I'm still in the investing in myself phase.
Yeah.
So,
I do want to say that you say I wouldn't call myself a chef. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
I have tried your food. You're absolutely a chef. I don't care if you're a practicing chef. You're definitely a chef.
it feels weird when I talk to like a working chef because they're like, this motherfucker's not a chef.
Okay.
Well, like it's like regular people. I'm a chef.
Heidi and I have talked about this before, though. When people act like just not what you do, I'm talking about just knowing how to cook, acting like it's a flex. Like,
Yeah.
when guys are like, I know how to cook, and then they cook like a piece of chicken and green
And
beans.
they whitely season it, and they just don't know. It's not.
And you're like, that's not. Or girls will do it too. They're like, yeah, I know how to cook. I'm like, no, you know how to cook fettuccine.
Yeah, that's not. That's, yeah.
know how to put things
Everything's
into a bowl.
Yeah.
But I also know people that can't even do that. Like that is like I'll make chicken and rice sometimes.
Yeah, I
and
would
they're
be
like,
very impressed. Like,
I'm
I
amazed
can't.
when someone doesn't know how to cook like anything for themselves.
I know that's
Like,
wild. I'm like, what do you eat?
yeah. Like, how do you exist?
Yeah.
What-
oh, you'd be surprised.
Just like
Like-
your basic, like even just like you said, cooking like chicken and rice, or just like some
Eggs.
basic stuff. Like people, you're not wrong. Some people don't know how to do that.
I've been roommates with Dad for like 5 years. I've seen him cook maybe 5 times, or like 3 years. I've seen him cook maybe 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, like it's all.
Is it not wanting to or not knowing how to? Because there's a difference.
I think probably not knowing how to. And then like he eats like 2 meals a day, so I think he just eats like gas station pastries for breakfast. And then goes out to lunch somewhere and then like doesn't normally eat dinner. And I'm like, that's insane to me.
I
also feel like that
don't
would
hate
become
on
so
the gas
expensive.
station rollers.
I was
okay?
literally about to say Sarah is an avid Speedway tornado
What's
eater.
your go-to? What's that?
the tornadoes, the things that are on the little rollers in there.
The hot
They're
dog
like
thing?
taquitos.
Well, yeah.
With
so,
the bread around it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
What is it?
It's essentially like a taquito, but they have a buffalo chicken one, my favorite.
Ew.
They have a steak chimichurro one.
I'm mad that you know the flavors. That is so rancid to me.
It's because they're good and they're a nice road snack.
When we were in school, like there was a Speedway right next to like cosmetology school.
Yeah.
I probably spent literally like 3 months rent going there that whole year and Taco Bell. But Sarah would always get those and they would always smell like dirty feet or BO, and it would make me so sick
here we go.
watching her eat these things.
Oh yeah, that Fiesta one.
And you never know how long they've been sitting on this roller.
Clue. Yeah, that could be days.
There's nothing in there that's going to harm you though. It's cheese and bread.
I don't know, man. I think that's how COVID started, honestly.
You're not gonna
that's
get
all gonna harm
you're not
you.
gonna get salmonella.
You
from
also
a
don't know,
roller.
like someone really nasty could have touched all of them, like trying to find the perfect one with their bare hands and putting them back down.
Okay, well that can happen at any restaurant too. I've worked in kitchens. I'm
I
telling
have
you.
too. I know. Ugh.
Sometimes.
I'm gonna
You worked at the Terre Haute Outback Steakhouse and you're worried about other people's hands?
Dude, we would literally, if there wasn't any tongs to pull the bread out, we would bare hand that shit after touching the computers, after running. Oh yeah, dude. Nobody wore gloves.
Well, that's what they say. No rules, right? No rules, just right. Outback Steakhouse.
In Terre Haute, anyway. I don't know, man.
I'm pretty sure it's all Outback Steakhouses. I'm sure.
Oh,
that's
I'm
universal.
sure. I'm sure.
No hate to Outback Steakhouse. Sponsor us if you want.
Give us anything, really.
Oh, I did want to say congratulations. You're listed in Nuvo. I saw that today.
Thank you.
And I gotta say I'm a little bit jealous because I have like for the longest time, like I used to like back in the day I was in a hip hop group and like my biggest dream like when I was like 20 years old was to be on the cover of Nuvo with my hip hop group. And I would get so mad because I would be like, all these other people get it. And like we always got passed over.
Wait, what is it?
Nuvo?
Yeah.
It was just like a local magazine. It was like a newspaper, free newspaper. And now it's digital only now. But like there used to be like a hard like
copy of it.
Yeah. Like it was like a giant fun local stuff going on.
Okay,
that type
gotcha.
of stuff.
I had a comedy write up.
I did see it, but I didn't know what like Nuvo was. That's why I was like, I saw it and I read it. It was awesome.
I was like, this is. So I've been featured in a newspaper 3 times. One was for an arrest.
One was my mugshot on the front cover.
That was the feature.
And the second time was when I got prom queen in high school. And
I thought you were about to say when you got pregnant. I was like, okay.
my mom still has that one hanging, and then this one. So the evolution
Wow.
of transition
Yeah, you're on
to
your way
where I
up.
am. It's like I can really only go up from where I started, but it was shocking and nice to see because you don't a lot of times I don't see how much I've progressed and I'm sure you do the same thing, but then something like that happens and you're like, yeah, that's it.
That's a win. I posted it in the indie comedy group, but I know that Sarah doesn't like compliments like I do. So then I had to post it and I was like, Sarah's achieving all her goals, which is really good because she never learned how to read.
She came from a place where words didn't exist.
I was like, thank you. I have to have a roast with a compliment or else I don't. I think that makes me feel like it's more genuine than if you actually compliment me. Like that's a more genuine appreciation.
You gotta temper it a little bit with some sass.
So thank you. That was perfect.
I also wanted to say congratulations to you because I saw that you did stand-up comedy for the first time.
I know. That was one of the most like humbling and scary moments ever, but I'm glad I did it. I feel like so much has gone on. I still want to do a couple open mics, but like between like the holidays and just like other things happening, I haven't been able to get back up there. So
She did great though.
Yeah. How did you prepare for that?
So, okay, I like started writing, like trying to write my jokes probably like a month, 2 months before. And the whole time I was like, I was probably overthinking it more than I should have, but I was more so doing the thing where I was just like trying to like remember what I was going to say. So like the 2 days before that, I just like kept like going over it and going over it and going over it. But I tried not to like prepare too much because I didn't want to overthink it to the point of like not doing it because I have such bad anxiety that I was scared I was gonna like back out of it last second.
We also made her host, which comics know that that's technically the worst job is to host because you're coming out cold and you have the responsibility of introducing everybody and the show kind of the way it runs falls on you. But I wanted you to host because I wanted you to know that regardless of how well the jokes went, which they did good, that I just wanted you to be able to have something to say, okay, well, here's your next comic or introducing us and be a part of the show without having that pressure of having to be good.
I feel like I have like a good enough personality that like that part wasn't hard for me. Like that didn't bother me at all. Like I was like, whatever,
Yeah, it depends. If I'm hosting for somebody that I really, really look up to, I'll get nervous. But the thought of just hosting doesn't scare me that bad just because, it's fun. You get to go out
I
there
do
and be
agree
fun.
though. Like you said, it's like you're kind of warming the crowd up. Like obviously sucks a little bit, but we had like such a good turnout of people that came out to support.
Yeah, and all
of
your
us.
friends were there. So.
Yeah. That was fun. I loved it.
I want to go back to this hip hop group you were in.
Okay.
Circle back.
I had questions about this. I was going to let you finish, but
We're actually going to give you the next 3 minutes to sing us your best song from that.
I find it a little rude that you listen to our podcast, know that we need a theme song, have a background in hip hop.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm out of the rap game. Long time out of the rap game.
What? Okay, so what was the name?
Oh my god. So we were called Sacrilicious.
Oh
which is,
my lord.
It's from a Simpsons episode.
Sacrilegious, as in
Sacrilegious.
like a ball sack.
No, like as in
As in a not ball sack.
He's like, no, I mean, sort of like, not like exactly a ball sack, but like
Similar. You're on the right track.
it's literally just a throwaway joke from The Simpsons we thought was really funny, and we're both kind of nerdy, so we went with
Who was
that.
in it?
It was me and my friend Eli, and at the time, like, we both were young. Like, we started when we were like 19. I think we started like right after high school. And we were just like, we had like a little beat machine.
Oh, hell
And we
yeah.
would just like write raps. And then at one point we had a full band, like with a drummer. And it was like when rock rap was real
I was
popular.
gonna say, so it's probably more like Beastie Boys.
So it was like us rapping over a full band where you couldn't even hear us.
You should have been on the SoundCloud come up. You could have just made it out.
This was pre SoundCloud, but yeah.
If you would have kept going with it though.
This was like us. This was pre social media. We were like putting up flyers on like telephone poles and stuff.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
And but it was weird. It was like a parody hip hop, like not parody, but like we were like playing characters because it was like over the top misogynistic. It was kind of like us being like, what are rappers like?
Yeah.
Rappers are like this, and we were playing characters. So like I was my rap name was Pooh Money.
Pooh Money?
Yeah. And we just talked about all these women that we got and like, how great we were and all this stuff. And like,
But you weren't.
No,
great
not at
or
all.
None of that
getting
stuff was
women.
happening.
None of that stuff was happening. But it was like theatrical too. Like I liked the theatrics of it. Like each song had so we had like a Catholic schoolgirl dancers come up and dance with us on stage. And we'd have like skits and stuff.
They were not real Catholic schoolgirls.
I mean, they were adults.
Oh.
They weren't children. No.
You're like,
They were
please,
definitely
like,
adults.
please stop right there. Tell me that they
Adults
were
of
not.
consenting age.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
They're not
on a minute.
actual
Pump
Catholic,
the brakes.
Catholic schoolgirls, right?
But I did have to go out and buy matching Catholic schoolwear outfits for them to wear. So-
How was that
Fair.
experience? Where
Man,
did you go?
Well, my friend,
Because this was pre-internet.
my friend who was in the group with me, his parents actually own a business called Mean Maxine, and they make stripper clothes.
Of course.
So I actually bought it from them. But I would have to go. We had a song. This is gross. None of this aged very well, believe it or not.
Most things don't,
But
especially comedy and music.
We had a song called Panties, and it was just about how much we loved women's panties.
Oh my lord.
And part of the bit is I would go out to like Kmart or Target, and I would go to like the cheapest underwear, and I would buy like 7 pairs of panties. And then that night on stage, we would pull them out. We would throw them into the audience.
Can we actually use that song for our intro?
Yes.
Can you pull that out of the archive? I think we want that one.
We need one more performance of panties.
Let's bring it
We
back.
Live
Come on.
recorded.
We'd chuck them out to the audience, and then I realized that because I'm like always want to like, I always want to get that pop. Like I always wanted to like get the audience going.
Going like including them.
So I would leave one in a thing of like beer or water, like a cup off to the side.
One way to get an audience going.
a soaking wet pair of
And
panties.
then I would pick the panties up out of it, and I would wring them out into my mouth like on stage, and then throw. And people would clear it was like I threw a live grenade. Like really thought like I just
You'd just be in the middle of this crowd. Everyone's like avoiding it.
dive out of the way.
Like
yeah.
there was one time that you told me you were like, you would be surprised, but I did used to be a little bit of an F boy, and I was like, no way, I just
No
can't imagine
way.
it. And then you just told me that you wrung out panties into your mouth and
yeah.
threw them into a crowd of people.
Yeah, I
and I'm
don't know
like,
that there's more fuck boy than that. You know what I mean?
that's like an OG fuckboy.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I have a photo of the two of us from that era, and I'll send it to you guys, and you can put it up on the episode while this
Yes,
story's
that would
being
be
told.
amazing.
Yes.
Because it's definitely I was deep into F-boy territory at that time.
Were
Sarah, if you
you-
can scoot in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Sarah,
Hey.
sit on his lap.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Huddle in
Can you
close.
sit on his lap,
I
please?
like F boys.
I love that voice.
Suddenly have to get so close. So what was it? I want the pictures to come up, but just tell us, what were the outfits like?
Oh, I had a Adidas tracksuit, full Adidas tracksuit. I had
Of course.
I still love a full Adidas
Adidas
tracksuit.
tracksuit.
That's my style.
I had a septum piercing. I had like a big bull ring
Oh,
Was
in
this
the
real?
nose. Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
I dated this girl who was she was like all tatted up, like she had a full sleeve. And one time we went after hours into a tattoo shop, and her tattoo artist was like, I want to pierce you. And I was just like, I don't really need a piercing. He's like, no, I'll pierce your nose for free. And I was like, all right, we were wasted and
Ooh, when you're
trespassing.
drunk too.
And he pierced, I think it was like I don't know, it was like a 10 gauge. It was something crazy. It
Like,
was like
way bigger than
it
it
was
should
like
be.
shoving a pencil through your nose. And it was like
That's
he
a
did
very
it.
sensitive area anyway.
And it's like, it's not a part of your body that normally hurts. So when it hurts the first
Yeah,
time,
you're
you're
like,
like,
shit.
oh God. Like, why does the inside of my brain hurt?
Yeah.
I can imagine with a septum.
I don't know how people do that. I think that's one that would literally make me pass out. Like I can't even like wrap my brain around doing that.
It hurts. So it feels like you got caught on a fence with your face.
Oh, nice.
But then like it hurts so bad that like as soon as you're done touching it, it's fine. But
I think
like
that's how most piercings are though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But there
I
are
got
levels
this.
of pain.
I got this up here pierced,
Your cartilage?
and I would sleep on it, and it hurt for like a year. Like it
I
would
feel
hurt
like
like
most
every
people
day.
say that.
Yeah.
When you get anything on like the tops of your ears pierced,
The cartilage
it's always
does
like
not.
super, or it like gets like the keloids on it really bad. That's a part of like your body that like doesn't usually heal very well.
Yeah, I got some.
I just had to take my nose ring out. Well, I didn't have to take it out, but I was out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I had a ring like Heidi, and I turned around and it got caught in some girl's sweater.
Okay.
And then I just ripped my head back because I was like, oh, that's in some girl's sweater. And then she kind of just came along with me. And then I was just connected. There was really like nothing we could do. So I just had to like pull the whole nose ring out because it was like hanging out of my nose in
Oh
her
my
sweater.
God.
So I was like, well, I guess that's the end of that. I just flung it across the bar. I'm like,
also feel
there's
like
the end of.
I would just like
That
you're
era.
panicking at that point. Yeah. You're like, well,
I like it though. Like piercings are nice, but I cannot clean it. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at doing the due diligence of a piercing. So my nose ring always just like, I never had a clean area around my nose, I felt like.
yeah.
I got tired of people asking me like if it hurt. I'm like, yes, a lot. Like obviously, like
Like if you think it hurts, it probably hurts. Honestly.
What's so odd is that a regular nose ring will not get that type of attention. A septum,
yeah.
people are like, what was it like? What happened? Why doesn't your dad love you? Like they have so
Yeah,
many questions,
too many questions, yeah.
about a septum, but a regular nose ring, nobody ever even says anything or
Yeah,
notices.
it's insane.
it's weird because I've been on both sides of it, and now I'm like the crusty old man. Like I'm like, if you're over 30, you shouldn't have a nose ring.
I think that's what I was
time
trying
to it's time to hang up the nose ring when you on your birthday, on your 30th birthday.
That's
Nose
what I
ring
did
is
with
going
with my belly button ring. It was 2020. It was during the pandemic. I took it out. I was like, girl, who knows if you'll ever see anybody? I thought the world was ending anyway. And I was like, you're 27. Put that belly button. Take the belly
You're
button ring out.
27.
Take
Take
it
it out. Take it out.
I tried to shove one back in like a couple months ago.
I
Don't
have
do
my
that.
top and my bottom done.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's like, that's trashy.
Oh,
Here we go,
I feel like
and we're off.
there
I
it
feel
is.
like every-
There it is.
every girl that
Well,
hung
on
out
the bright side, I never
underneath the
claimed to be
bleachers.
not.
every girl
Would you
that
s- would you
Also, wait, how many girls do you know that have their top and their bottom done? I thought that was very unique because I don't know anyone else that has their
two
bottom
of them
done.
and both of them sucked dick way too early.
When you said you had your top and bottom done,
Okay.
I thought you meant your nips and clit at first.
My labia.
I was like, that's how Wyatt actually broke his.
He got it.
The piercing accident.
Yeah, he got his labia pierced
Now he's on
and it
crutches.
shattered. Wyatt. No,
So you-
I think it's kind of cute. It was really cute.
That's. I'm sure it was. Is your
Anyway.
nose the only thing you ever had pierced?
I had the top of my ear.
Oh, those two.
Yeah,
Do you have tattoos?
I have one tattoo
It's on your ass.
on my ass. Yeah.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Yeah, you could tell by the way he said it. I have one tattoo.
I have a. I
Is
have
it Jesus?
I have a tattoo of one of my friends' faces, and it was a bet.
I would hope so.
He was a guy who was always
Unless
He
you just
didn't
had
tell
like,
his friend. He just went into the tattoo shop and was like, I love my friend.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I got your face on my ass.
My friend, he was a guy that was always he was like hooked up with a lot of women, and he was always kind of bragging about
He was
it.
a hooker.
And I told him, if you ever have sex with 3 women at the same time, then I'll get a tattoo of you that says "My Hero" on my ass. And then he had sex with 3 women at the same time, and I tried to walk it back. I was like, yeah, I was just kidding about that.
did you guys shake on it? Was there a contract? Anything?
Was there a legal document? Did you guys shake blood?
No, but I was like, I'll get the tattoo of your face, but I'm not putting.
How do you
I'm
know
not
that
putting
he
the My
for
Hero
sure hooked up with 3 women?
part. I know the women. Yeah, it happened.
They confirmed with you.
Yeah, it happened. And he was like,
What if he had all them on his side and he's like, just tell him that we hooked up?
no, they were
Was it-
sluts.
Yeah.
They all of them, including him. They all.
Every last one. They enjoyed it.
Both of them.
I think it was a drug-infueled orgy.
Yeah, that sounds wrong.
Was the tattoo drug fueled at all, or
No.
You went in completely sober?
I went
with-
in, so I have a bit about it because when I was living in Bloomington at the time, and I went in to get it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I gave the guy the picture, and the guy's looking at it, and he's drawing it out and everything. And then I noticed that my tattoo artist has a swastika tattooed on his arm.
Oh,
the trusty swastika.
And I was like, he like notices.
Sitting there, you're like,
He saw me looking at it, and he's like, oh, that old thing. He's like, you got to do what you got to do to get by in prison, brother. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, you were in prison.
Were you like
you're
his first black client or something? Like, was he that shocked that he'd never had to hide it before? He was like, yeah.
No,
this
it's
thing.
more like it comes up every day, and he just goes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
does he know that tattoo removal is a thing, or that cover-ups are
He's
a
also a
thing?
tattoo artist.
yeah.
And
He could literally cover it up himself.
Anytime you want.
Yeah,
You know?
just all black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could make a square, one big square.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could turn it into like the Windows 95 logo.
Anything,
Like,
anything.
yeah.
A nice rectangle. Any
No.
shape would be better.
He
than,
did the tattoo. Wonderful. It looks just like the photo I gave him, but the problem is the only photo I had of my friend at the time was his yearbook picture from sophomore year.
So now you have.
So I have a tattoo of
16-year-old.
a underage white boy on my ass for all time. And then I get to have a fun conversation every time I hook up with someone for the first time when they're like,
Is this your little brother that passed away?
Yeah.
Yes, it was this young boy.
I can never go to prison. I cannot go to
Oh
prison.
God, no! I mean, you could never make up that story. They would never.
They would
believe
never
you.
believe you.
Yeah.
There's no way that you could tell them that story, and they'd be like, not think that you're a child.
Well, and now,
And
like, not to be a bummer, but my friend passed away.
Oh, shut up!
And
So,
so,
now it's a
like,
memorial
so now it's
tattoo.
like the white trash memorial tattoo.
You have to put wings on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go put wings and a halo
You
on
have to
it.
put wings in the
Like a
birth
date.
and date day.
At his funeral, you should
A
have like,
Dale Earnhardt 3.
you know how they like put like your memory boards where they put all the pictures? It should just be your ass with like him on it as like his memorial picture.
I will remember you.
It's just like zooming in. It's one of the ones on the TV screen where each picture zooms in. It's just zooming in on your ass.
All of my friends were kind of like alt goth tattoo people. So I was always planning on being the guy that just didn't have tattoos. Like that was going to be my
That was gonna
thing.
be your standout.
And then this happened. But the thing is, like, I never see it. So I forget about
Right,
it.
yeah.
Like,
I think even when you do see him, you forget about him.
I think all of your friends that already have a bunch of tattoos should have joined along with you when you passed away and gotten his face on their ass as well.
well, I've had other friends be like, how come you didn't put my face on there? And I was like, if I put any more faces, it's going to start looking like Mount Rushmore
A
back there. Like,
family tree.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Who are all these people?
It's just gonna look like all your victims at one point.
Oh my God, I never even thought about
You're like,
that.
another one. You're going to the
Yeah.
same guy. He's like, what the hell, bro?
You have one of them on there twice. What happened here?
Who's that little boy? This is my first victim.
Who's the pubescent boy on your ass?
I didn't know that. I've probably heard that bit, but
When I bend over a lot too, so he's always like peeking out over my jeans. He's like the neighbor from Home
every
Improvement.
step you take, every move you make.
That is so funny. He's literally just like,
I'll be there.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
just the one.
Well, I do.
I think I want to get a tattoo of Sarah's face on my ass. now.
Please,
You guys should get each other's
we
faces.
should.
I'd get your initials. On
I
my
would
ass.
get your initials on mine. Maybe that's what we'll do.
My brother has the classic "your name" on his ass. You know,
To win bar bets.
Yeah, to tell girls, oh, I have your name on my ass. God, so original. You suck.
You suck.
Get my face on your ass, Damon, or grow up.
Or grow the fuck up.
Your name.
How many people do you know that have like X's tattooed on themselves and they have to get covered up? Like I'm always
I
amazed.
actually do know. There's only one that I know, and she's from my hometown, and she got his initials on the back of her neck, and they've like been on and off for God knows how long, and like got it covered up and then got it re-tattooed again.
Because they got back together.
Yeah, and now they're engaged.
I know a couple, they both had another initial from their previous partners on them. Then they got together and they got it covered up with each other's initials, and then they have since broke up. So I don't know. They're both just running around with a bunch of initials all over
Yeah,
them.
that's too much.
Are, and I'm not going to mention them, but they live right here in Indianapolis. But they've since broken up and have different initials. I'm sure now. I mean, how many times can you change the initials, you know?
I had a friend, or I still have a friend, but he dated this girl, and her ex's name was Donald, and she got it tattooed like a tramp stamp, like around the small of her back. And then my friend's name,
Stamps just have never aged well. I'm sorry. I can't believe those were ever popular.
well, especially
I think
like
they're
a
coming
name.
back. I really do.
Well, and then my friend's name was also Donald, so he was like, I think she just goes around looking for dudes with the same name.
Literally, she's like her Tinder profile is like, your name must be Donald. It must be.
Like, what the? Why would she ask this? And then they have sex with her for the first time, and they're like,
Ronald McDonald.
Okay, yeah.
I used to date a girl who had a tattoo there of her own name, but it looked like it was misspelled. It wasn't. It was just like the font
Yeah.
looked like it was misspelled. So every time you're
Maybe she had like lost
looking at
weight.
it,
I
you know,
feel
it's
like,
like
that is. I know a lot of dudes that have gotten like their last names tattooed on them. Like there's one guy I know got his last name tattooed all the way across his back, and I'm like, that is corny. Like you love yourself that much. Like,
That was the thing.
that's like
for while.
you're wearing like a jersey, like but on your skin,
my
like
family crest, dude.
this is my family name.
And it's
Put some
never a
respect.
cool last name
No,
either.
no, and there's fucking acne all around it. I'm like, this is awful. This is not good. the dot to the eye is just one big pimple.
It's always like Smith too. It's never anything.
Put some respect on my family name.
Phillips.
I hate serious tattoos. Like I don't know. Like when someone gets like I mean, I guess like if your kid dies or something.
Yeah,
you know,
I was
like-
about to say, I can't stand here. It's a portrait of someone's deceased child. You're like, grow up, dude.
I think it should be a mixture though. When I first started getting tattoos, I was definitely like, this has to have meaning behind it, and I
I
have
think
to do
that's
this.
so old school though. Like,
But like the tattoos that I have that have meaning about them
You
are
hate?
my worst tattoos because they're just not good. Like the
Yeah.
ones that I was
what
just like,
meant to you when you were 18.
yeah, exactly. Like, I have a nautical star tattoo that was a big deal when I was 18 because my grandpa had a nautical star tattoo. But now I'm like, now I have a nautical star tattoo forever
and
on my head.
and I have no good explanation.
Yeah, and like the ones that I've gotten where I'm just like, oh, I want to go to a really good artist because I want them to do their artwork on me is my best tattoos, as opposed to me being like, this needs to be this because my grandma had that, and I think that's cool. My grandma wouldn't want me to have a fucking tattoo. Like,
I was gonna say, yeah, I just feel like the whole like having to have meaning is like that's just such an aged belief.
I always think it's funny too when people get tattoos for like their deceased grandma or something, and their grandma would have hated that they had.
oh
tattoos.
yeah, like
Yeah.
absolutely would not have loved that at all.
Well, you were talking about like the tramp stamp, like going out of favor. I had a friend, a comic friend of ours, who just got. She was arguing that it wasn't a tramp stamp because it was slightly higher up on her back, but like she got like a
A general vicinity.
she got like
is-
a panther, and like I was just like, dudes are definitely coming on that. That's a tramp stamp.
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that's-
Oh, that's why it's called a tramp stamp. I never really. I guess I thought it was a tramp stamp because it showed above your jeans.
There's probably lots of reasons why it's
Yeah,
called a tramp
there's
stamp.
probably a ton of reasons.
Can you Google tramp stamp for us? I'd like to know
Meaning
the
of a
origin.
tramp stamp.
I would like to
please.
know the origins of the tramp stamp.
I feel like at first they were just butterflies. It was always like the butterfly
No, I feel like at first it was the barbed wire.
on the barbed wire. Oh god,
yeah,
that's
Oh
a
my!
real.
Okay, those are awful. The other one that's
Ooh.
awful: tribal tattoos. If you have
Oh,
a tribal
yeah.
tattoo, man, I'm running.
My dad has the barbed wire. It's his only tattoo. He has it around his arm, but it doesn't go like past
All the way?
Yeah, it only goes like it's like a
half cuff.
It's a half cuff. Because he
Ew.
said it hurt too bad, and I was like, "You pussy! Oh my god!"
That was like I think the only tattoo they were allowed to do in the 90s was
Yeah,
the barbed
Shut
wire.
up.
Half
This says-
barbed wire.
That's a good
The
description right
so-called tramp stamp isn't a sign of trashiness.
Oh.
It's an early women's tradition. A recent discovery has led researchers to believe the ancient Egyptian women were a bit. Wait,
I don't
can't-
believe this at all.
Yeah, I don't
Adorned.
either. I don't either.
With lower back tattoos to protect themselves and others during
I
childbirth.
don't believe that. I don't believe that.
You got to scroll down to a better one. That's like somebody trying to
someone-
repurpose it.
Yeah.
They're like, this is actually misogynistic that you would call them
Wait,
a tramp stamp.
Go back up. Go all the way back up. Hold
This
on. What
is
does
going
that
to
say?
get canceled because we said the word tramp
Tramp is
stamp.
derived from a Middle English verb meaning to walk with heavy footsteps or to go hiking.
Wait, so why is a tramp? Well, now we're getting too deep, but why?
What is it? We got to first find out what is a tramp.
Yeah, what's a tramp?
Tramp used to be like, it was like something you'd call like a hobo or something.
Really?
Yeah,
I
like a
can
tramp.
imagine calling a homeless person a
Well,
tramp.
like
They had
Lady and the Tramp.
yeah,
Like
but I
the
still-
tramp was like a ne'er-do-well. Like
Oh, I definitely still thought of it as like a slut. I'm like, that dog was
Sharing her spaghetti like a little tramp.
oh, you thought she, wait, you thought she was a lady and a tramp?
Lady and the tramp.
Well,
Lady
we're
is
getting
a
to it
tramp.
now. We're finding it. That's great.
You learn something new every day. I'm feeling
thought
very
she
humbled.
was
You thought
both.
she was sharing that spaghetti
That's
noodle
great.
and kissing that homeless dog on the
No.
mouth, and you're like that little tramp.
This little slut.
Heidi's just slut shaming. What a tramp.
What a little slut eating her spaghetti with a man on the street.
Oh, we are getting really deep into
Long
how
story
a tramp
short.
stamp is misogynistic, and we should stop calling them that. Apparently,
I'm sorry, that's never gonna go away. Never.
Yeah, we had someone upset over here. They said,
it sounds like a lot of people that have tramp stamps.
Yeah, that's the only audience that's on here.
they said I have a tattoo in my lower back. Stop calling it a tramp stamp.
What else would you call it?
I mean, I've made regrettable
Uh-oh.
decisions in my life, and the main
Never a
thing that I
tramp
do
stamp.
is I own up to it, and I'm like, yeah, well,
First of all, calm down. I have a tattoo of an underage boy on my ass.
Yeah.
All right, we're just making
yeah.
jokes here.
I had a
We're
penis
all just
tattooed on my
laughing.
leg. Like, let's all just calm down about that.
I have thankfully not had any experiences yet, so I will leave it at that.
What's your
thank
What's your
God.
least favorite of your own tattoos? Or do you like them all?
Heidi, I feel like, has done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say I actually really like all the ones I have. I mean, even the sleeve I got when I was 18, like it's one if I made that decision at 18, it was a pretty good 18-year-old decision because it
Yeah.
could have been a lot fucking worse. It's still not finished, but
I think do you have a picture of that on your Instagram or something?
yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I saw that and I was just like, oh,
You don't expect it,
No.
right?
No, I get that a lot. So at Burn, I always wear long sleeves because it's freezing in there. And they're like the very few times I don't, everyone's like, what the fuck? Like literally just they
I
don't
do
expect
remember the
it.
first time I saw you had a full sleeve. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
like
I hear that. That's the most like that is what I hear the most. Just that they wouldn't
that's
expect
a
it.
big tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Text that to me, Heidi, or airdrop a picture.
I got you. Hold on.
Well, Heidi's a secret goth. You know,
Yeah.
like
I am.
Heidi's a secret goth.
A closet.
Closet goth.
She just only in her room listens to just System of a Down.
Well, I mean,
She's like,
I
get
feel
out!
like- I don't know though. I feel like I definitely like only like I wear like a lot of black. I mean, like I do have my tattoo. But I'm not like Skylar Goth. You know what I mean? Like
At home, you just have your bangs swooped over.
at home, I do a really hard side part, and I'm just like
I walk in, you're like, this isn't what it looks like.
everything in my room is pretty. It's all black.
She's like
too.
a witchy goth,
Yeah,
which I feel like
yeah.
is different. There's like goth, like I want to like listen to punk rock music and like kind of like hurt myself. And then there's goth Heidi, where it's like astrology
tasteful.
bitches.
Do you guys ever think about going like both brunette for like October? Or
No,
something?
no.
Just for 1 month?
Nope.
Just swapping it up?
No. I'm trying to embrace my roots a little bit more, but I
Wait.
will never go away from the blonde.
Heidi, did you notice that I'm blonde again?
When'd you do that?
Like last week? Well, I had Allison put low lights in because I wanted to
remember
go
that.
dark. Yeah, and then I went back in there and she was going to redo the low lights. And she even said, she's like, yeah, this doesn't look good. And just took me back blonde. I was like, Heidi's going to fucking kill me.
Why do you why do you dye
literally
your
were
roots
gonna
that
do
color?
I knew you were gonna do that.
Right now, my roots
Okay,
are
Wyatt,
bad.
I'm sorry. This is like a very like sexy picture, but I don't have any other ones that like have like the sleeve in it.
Well, at least Wyatt's of age now. He's not some young boy
Yeah, like
doing
when
this
Dyke met.
podcast anymore.
But yeah, no, like I feel like when I wear like a lot of long sleeves and stuff, so you don't ever see mine. When people see them, they're like. I also like my favorite tattoos are the ones that are like that were random. Like I have bees on my knee right here. It was well done for where we went.
We got it in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I'm gonna throw that.
I was so have a sewage backup somewhere because it smelled like shit. We first walk in, the guy's like, "I've been tattooing for 15 years. Like, what do you want?" And I'm like,
No, he
"Sarah,
was
you
literally
can
like,
go
I've
with
been
him.
tattooing for 95
You
years.
can go with him." And then the owner came like out from the back in a wheelchair and is right next to like the bed that I'm laying on, like while I'm getting mine, just like telling me his life story. I'm like, "Where did you come from?"
It was a little bit of a trashy tattoo experience,
was-
but you know, they look good. Dyke, I don't want to let you go without talking about this. I think it's funny that we both have jokes about our terrible tattoos because that for me that was like one of the funniest things.
Wait, what is is this from your OnlyFans? What's going on here?
Wait, is this your tattoo that you're
Yes, I don't have anything else that like the other one was way worse that I just showed him.
This is like a professional modeling picture. It's got shadow and depth.
I didn't say you.
Is this a Guess Jeans ad?
I can't even see your tattoo. All I see is your
Yeah.
tummy.
She was like, "This is a really good one that shows off my tattoo. I mean my abs."
Wyatt, this is a sexy picture, and don't
hey,
take this-
we got the
Belly button.
yeah.
Don't take
What'd you
this
call
the wrong way.
the upper and the downer?
Wait, you don't have both of them in right there though.
No, I didn't. I don't have the bottom one in. I took that out because it's trash.
For the photo shoot.
So you're saying it's trashy?
No, I was going off of you saying that.
Yeah, okay.
Whenever I had to get my gallbladder ripped out of my body, I had to take them out, and that one never came back after that surgery.
Yeah, little do that.
Like they had to like make these incisions, and it made it like sideways. So when I wear the bottom one, it's like slanted now. So yeah, it probably does look trashy.
That happened with my grandma's entire belly button. she had like a colon.
What?
She had like something happen with her colon, so she had to get a colostomy bag. But now her belly button is like slant. It's like
Moved?
Her belly button,
Yeah.
her belly button's all the way over here.
It is. It's like where your jeans would be in her left
Oh
pocket.
my god!
From
She
the
wears her
surgery.
belly button in her pocket.
I didn't know until recently that like people that get like if you have like a top surgery or if you like have like a breast reduction that your nipples can fall off.
What? I didn't know that
Yeah,
either.
did you know you can get them tattooed back on?
Yeah, well that's
Yeah.
why they have to a lot of times. But like, yeah, there was like someone whose like nipples just fell off.
From like necrosis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
feel like that probably happens with top surgeries more just because a smaller nipple is probably not going to be able to withstand
All
a
the extra
Yeah.
weight you're putting on it.
big old titty.
A big old titty.
They probably look really nice.
You're like, you know
though.
what? You got big tits, but now you have no nipples, so that's the price you have to pay.
What were you gonna ask originally?
Tattoos, both of us having our jokes about that. That was like one of my first jokes. I don't know about you, but like it was one of the easiest things to talk about, just embarrassing stories. But one thing I feel like even on your podcast, I've never talked to you about this, was just how did you get started in comedy? Was it in Bloomington or?
No, I was here. I've always been a fan of comedy, but like I'm like real jealous when we see like we know these people that start doing comedy like 18 and 19 now, and it's just like, man, I wish I would have. Part of me wishes I would have started earlier, but I was such an idiot when I was that age.
Same.
Like I probably wouldn't have been funny at all. I didn't have enough life experience, but I've always been a fan of stand-up comedy. Like I remember being like a little kid and like some reason me and my friend got left alone at his friend's house and Def Comedy Jam was on. And this was like back, like I was like, I don't know, 8. And I would just laugh if I heard cuss words.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like Martin Lawrence was hosting. And I remember like one of the first jokes, he was talking about biracial people. And he was like talking about how like, yeah, you don't know what side you'd be on a race war. Like, you guys are just in the middle confused. And my white friend leaned over to me and he was like, that's you. And I was like, oh man, that's funny.
Shit.
Like,
Yeah.
But no, I just, always a fan of stand up, always a fan of comedy in general and stuff. And even like with the hip hop stuff, I tried to like
Make it funny.
Yeah, make it funny. Yeah, make it
yeah.
fun. We're not being serious here, like obviously. But I had a sketch comedy show for a while, which talk about not aging well. Every sketch I was in, man, there's one where I'm dressed up like an Asian dude. Like it's none of it aged very well at all.
I hate looking back at your old humor. Like when you're like in middle school, especially like
It was also such like it was just different times. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it didn't age well, but it's like at that time, like I'm sure you weren't the only one. You know what I mean?
some of your old Facebook posts.
Oh God. I'm actually really glad that my Facebook got hacked and deleted because I was tired of seeing the things that my mom let me post when I was in 6th and 7th grade. I should have been arrested.
Oh, it
Illegal.
hurts you. I wrote an entire book report on why women that have more than 4 kids should be sterilized
Okay.
in high school. And I was like, I look back on that and I'm like, what was wrong with your fucked up little mind? Like,
It was probably the town you lived in.
Yeah,
You probably
well,
knew
you know.
a few people that
exactly.
Shouldn't have had any
exactly.
kids at all.
It was like in my
Sew
mind,
her
I'm
up.
like, they have more than 4. They're never gonna be able to afford them. And like
you can't afford these.
you think about like, your mind obviously expands when you get older, but looking back on some of that stuff, you're like, "Oof." But you had this sketch comedy show, none of it aged well.
fun. It was fun to do. And it was like, at the time I was like, when you think of stand-up comedy, like I was just like, what am I going to do? Go to Hollywood and be, like,
Right.
I didn't think you like, oh, you can go down to your local, like the Crackers and like try an open mic. And then there was just a couple things where I would I went to a coffee shop show and I saw like a local show and Lucas Waterfield was the headliner. And I just remember it being so funny and just thinking like, oh, like this guy's like from Indianapolis and he's that funny.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool.
This is like 2018 too, right?
No, this is like 2016,
Okay.
17, something like
Okay.
that. And then I had a friend who I thought was very funny. Her name was Stacy. And she was like Facebook funny. Like, you should do stand-up comedy. And then she had like gone through a breakup or whatever. And we'd always kind of like talked about it. And I was like, look, because I had a food truck at the time. And I was like, yeah, I got this food truck, blah, blah, whatever. But I was like, you have this breakup. Now you have all this free time and you're angry. So like write it out and turn it into jokes. And,
Yeah.
and I was like really pushing her into it.
Secretly pushing yourself.
And I think I was secretly because it's a real like cruising kind of thing of just like when you're too scared to be like, I want to do this, but you just like, so I would like go with her to open mics and then she did a couple and then there was like a local guy Dylan, who was putting on a show in Irvington and asked her to be on it. And I think I had gone to a couple open mics at that point, and she was like, I'll only do it if Dyke can do it too. And so that was my first show. I got +1 into being on a show, and it was like in Irvington outside at a coffee shop. There was like 10 people that we all knew by first name.
Do you feel like doing a stand-up in front of a smaller crowd is almost more intimidating because because I feel like when you're in a big crowd, you kind of like get laughs off other people laughing too. You know what I mean? Like kind of feeding off of it. Do you feel like it's harder?
It's weird when you can see, like if it's like a bright, especially this is outdoor during the day. So it's just like you can see everyone's face. People don't tend to want to laugh when it's bright out.
Yeah.
Like
When it's bright, they're just like,
No, it's just like
people like to laugh in secret.
Yeah, people don't want to, and people will cover their mouths sometimes, especially in the daylight. They'll cover their mouths, or they'll put their head down when they're laughing, and I'm like,
why are you embarrassed?
Yeah.
Belt it out, motherfucker.
That's why comedy clubs are always dark.
Yeah.
And yeah, you want a lot of people close together. I mean, I've had some like intimate crowds, but like now it's like a small crowd is like 30. Ideally, you want like at least 30 people.
Yeah, I think that's a
But-
good size.
Yeah, I started doing it, and we were a food truck, so it was seasonal, so it'd be off in the wintertime. So I started basically in the late winter, early spring, and it was just like this is going to be a fun hobby until I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And I remember I would meet that were like mad at the open micers that were like, you guys are just tourists. Like, you're not in it. Like, I'm trying to be a professional comedian. And I was just like, this is as far as I'm going to get, man. Like, I'm not going to be able to be a professional comedian.
And what is wrong with that? Because I still feel like there's some people like that in the scene where it's like open mics are kind of like their bowling night, where it's like, oh, it's just like, it's fun to go out and do it. I think that there are still some people where it's like, this is just fun for me.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything that does not bother me at all.
Yeah, it's
like,
not taking anything away from you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, if you want to go, like, and open mics are your thing, and it's just a way for you to vent out, and you have no ways to make this or even want to make this a bigger thing, then like, who am I to judge? Like,
I've definitely gone the other way where I've seen somebody that I thought was really funny. And then, because a lot of times you'll see someone that's like doing it and then they get a boyfriend or girlfriend and then they just quit doing comedy because they're happy now.
Yes.
And I'm like, that person was so funny.
I know.
Like,
I hate that.
I'm
or they
happy
get like a good job and then the job just takes over. And I'm like, damn it.
Damn it.
Of course. It's because smart people are normally some of the best comics. So that's what they end up finding, like a job or something.
When I first started, I mean, Wyatt, that's when I knew Wyatt. It was like my very first, like 6 months into comedy. It was like, let's start a podcast. And I was so high on like how fun it was that I thought everyone should do it, and I would anyone that was like, I got a joke. I'm like, go to an open mic, be a comic. It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, no, I don't do
It's
that.
not for everybody.
It's not for
yeah,
everybody.
100%.
It's
100%.
like, I don't understand, and not in a sexist way, but I don't understand like any woman that wants to do comedy because there's so much rejection and humblingness that comes along with it. I'm like, you don't have to do this, right? Like,
guys are like used to being rejected. So it doesn't bother them as much.
But then that's also how I know, like, oh, you're like legit, because like you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You could do literally anything else and it would be easier than doing stand-up comedy.
That is, well, not for me. You'd be surprised how bad I am at other things. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like what else I would do if I didn't do, like what else would bring me joy. I think it comes down to just a joy factor from it.
Yeah.
Even like, hey, even the Instagram comments that I read, I see them. Still, the hate outweighs the joy that I get from making other people laugh outweighs any type of hate or rejection.
It's a weird drug.
It is.
Because you can bomb one night and just like, why am I doing this? Like, am I even good at this anymore? And then you get back and then you have a good set and you're like, oh God, yeah,
I'm the funniest person ever. That's why.
Yeah.
so good.
And then you'll do another one and people are like, that was trash. You're like, God, I'm trash. I gotta quit.
They're never going to let me live this down.
Well, Dyke, I was super happy to have you on. Do you have any shows or anything you want to plug coming up?
Actually, I do. We have the Meat Cake Invitational coming up February 26th. It's on a Sunday at Tinker House Events. 8 chefs making these huge wedding cake size cakes out of meat.
Out of meat.
We should go. It sounds like a freaking...
And you can use any kind of meat, like a
you can use any
ham
kind of
hock
meat,
and
anything. You can use seafood if you want to. And then it is, and then you get to, as part of your ticket, you get a sample of the cakes, and then you're gonna help pick the winner.
Is this you put on this event?
Mm-hmm. It's our 3rd year.
That's awesome. And then, do you make a meat cake as well, or do you just...
I am one of the chefs. There's going to be 8 local chefs competing for the title of Meat King. And I'll be one of those.
All right. Okay, cool. Well, everyone go check out Dyke's Meat Cake.
I want to see it. Are you going to put icing on it?
That's it'll probably be a meat icing. But that's
what, like gravy?
At Harder Brunch on all social media. And then there we are.
Look at baby.
That's June 22nd, 2018.
Oh my goodness.
And look at you. I think that same man still walks by and stares at Heidi and I.
Oh, he just came in.
Oh.
He was just behind you.
Oh. Well,
He's always watching.
what's his name?
Robbie?
Robbie.
Robbie, heart.
Robbie's always
Yeah,
here.
that's why I just said your name. I was trying to get your attention because he was trying to get your attention, Wyatt.
Oh, okay. I saw him.
Drop some off.
He hasn't left that spot. That's where he posted.
Robbie
There he
lives
is,
He's right there right now.
There he is. We found him.
It's a real Inception way to end this episode.
Well, thank you again, Dyke.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody.
We might have to come see these meat cakes.
We'll come
Please
to these
do.
meat cakes.
And you can follow that at Harder Brunch on social media.
Yeah, please do. It's an amazing podcast. It's a good one.
And
Do you
I'm
want to plug any other social media handles?
just at Dyke Michaels
At Dyke
on all
Michaels.
platforms.
Okay. And then real quick, I'm just going to plug my shows. February 13th, I'm going to be at White Rabbit opening up for Lucas Waterfield, which we were just talking about. Amazing headliner here in Indianapolis, and he's going to be recording. And then February 14th at the Bottle Works Hotel, it's going to be a Galentine's Day event. So if you are a single gal wanting, I think you get 2 free cocktails with it at the Bottle Works Hotel, and I'll be headlining that. So that's it. All right. Thanks, Heidi. And then H for Heidi on everything.
That's it. That's all I got. Yeah. I have nothing coming up. Sorry, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.